Everybody on your feet as we welcome your cast today of Outlander. Well, four of you, thank you so much for being here this morning. I know you're all appreciative of it, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. My goodness, you know, just being able to speak with you folks behind the scenes, you know, before we went on here. Your lives have changed because of Outlander, and I know you have spoken many times together about this series, but there's got to be something about New York City. Coming here to New York Comic-Con, what is it like to come to events like this and just feel the energy from the audience?
First thing on a Sunday morning, it's invigorating. I needed it. Thank you.
Yes.
Woo. It's such a great city, isn't it? And I mean, this is incredible. I can't even see the back row here, but yeah, we love coming here in New York. And yesterday was.
What's up, New York?
What's happening?
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. How about you, David? How are you feeling?
I just did the emoji, just like. That's the.
Yes.
No words, just acting with the emoji there.
Yeah. Well, after 6 incredible seasons of Outlander, how many of you have been watching from the beginning out here? Yeah? Oh, yeah. It's just an incredible series. And Diana, I wanted to start with you. You know, when you stumbled upon writing this series, and now we're 9 books in and a 10th on the way, was what you're understanding. Yeah, you're working on, right? What is it like to create a universe, a phenomenon that has just taken the world by storm?
Well, it's good. Yeah, definitely good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like boiling a frog. You know, it's very, very gradual.
Yes.
Yeah, but here we are, and the temperature's about 120. So, yeah, it's good.
Oh, absolutely. Gents, what do you think has captivated the world about it? What is it about Outlander and the story that you think is really reaching to everyone?
Wow. I mean, I think obviously Diana's story is fantastic, but there's all this sort of, obviously the historical content for me is really interesting, you know. And in the show right now, we've obviously gone from Scotland, we've gone to Versailles, but we're in America, right? And we're recounting and retelling the story of the American Revolution, which I think is incredible. Not many TV shows have this sort of scope and vast sort of reach over such a long time period. So, yeah, definitely the historical side for me is really interesting.
Yeah.
Great casting, I think.
I mean,
It's great casting.
The best.
That actually sounded like a humble brag, but I didn't mean that. I was actually trying to throw it to Sam, as well as Duncan and Katrina. A wonderful cast, I think, do an amazing job as well about the show. Setting aside the wonderful work of fiction that Diana's written, I think it's a great show to work on with a great bunch of people. And I think the work that you two do, particularly as...
Well, John Gray also. I mean, anyone like John Gray? Fan?
Aww.
Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out.
Aww. And I know a lot out there are hoping you're going to be coming back, yeah? For season 7, yeah?
Oh, I am, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Excited about that. Duncan, what are your thoughts on why it's just such a phenomenon? Why everyone loves it so much?
I think at its heart, it's about family. It's about those ties that last so long over time. And I think it's reflected in the fandom because I mean, there's many people here that I've seen before, conventions over the years, and there's so many people that, due to the show, have formed long-lasting relationships and friendships, and, you know, it's got that Outlander bond, you know, it's like that's so lasting.
Yeah, you know, on top of it just being entertaining and captivating, but yeah, that family aspect of it is just so great and just holds on to everyone, right? And you guys are just loving this so far, right? So let me ask, guys, being on the series, you know, and taking on these roles, these characters that are just so well written by Diana, did you feel pressure to live up to the expectation, you know, after the first season of it, and you're like, wow, we're going to keep going with this, and everyone just loves the series so much. Did you feel pressure to deliver a certain performance to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess we were slightly naive at the beginning. Didn't know the vast scope and investment that fans had until we obviously went onto social media, you know, in the early days, and we saw that people were anticipating this so much. And I think myself and Katrina, we we did an event very early on. I think we were still shooting sort of around episode 4. We did a small event, and there were thousands of people there, and it just blew us away. We were like, oh my God, because we were in Scotland, we didn't really know about this anticipation, and to see all the fans there, to see everyone, you know, the excitement about the show coming out, it certainly gave us a thrill, but also did become, we did start to ask ourselves, you know, can we do this? But Diana's been so supportive along the way. She's been brilliant, and you guys have been great support as well, so thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure coming into something that is so well loved, and also that I came into it later. These two OGs from season 1, and you've done a lot of the hard lifting, and come to a show that had such an amazing fan base already that had built up from the books and of course the show. I definitely felt a pressure to step into that.
And we have new cast now. You know, we've got Charles, we've got all these new people coming in.
Yeah.
And big round of applause to those guys. Like, it must be hard to just come in and then, establish themselves. But they're all doing an incredible job.
Yeah, as for the fans, I don't know if you remember this far back, but the first time I met you and Katrina, we had lunch, and I was telling you about the fans. And what I said was, I have never had a bad fan experience. The fans are wonderful. They're intelligent and kind and very open, and they'll love you. I said, bear in mind, though, that I think the reason for this is that people with real mental derangements don't have the attention span to read one of the books. Television's a different thing, but luckily we have found still.
Diana, what's it been like for you to, not every writer gets to see their work be produced and appear on screen. What was it like to see it, physically, up on screen? Did it surprise you? Did it awaken more thoughts of how to create or continue the series?
Well, no.
Gotcha.
Bear in mind, I had been writing the books for 20-odd years before they started making.
Oh, of course. But as you continue to keep writing,
be inspired by it. Yeah. No, the first time I saw it, I was quite shocked. In a good way. I was going, oh. They actually got it right. Most of it. Yeah.
Most of it. Sorry, Duncan.
It's okay. Yeah, as soon as she saw Myrta, she was physically ill.
But you also wrote some episodes, and
I did,
how was that writing for screen as opposed to writing the book?
Yeah. Well, now writing episodes scripts is actually dead easy compared to writing a book because you guys are doing all the work. Really, all I have to do is provide dialogue and little short bridges, and you take it from there. And even then, you mess with the dialogue, but that's good.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of the fans out here, as much as they love you, they want to hear those behind-the-scenes stories. And I'm sure, woo!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they appreciate your dedication to the series. And I bet filming and coming back during the pandemic provided its own set of challenges. Anything from the most recent season that was memorable or humorous that maybe the fans haven't heard about? A blooper, something fun during the series that really stands out to you?
Oh my God, that's really difficult. I would say season 6 personally was one of the hardest seasons to shoot. But I think it was a sort of cumulative effect of, obviously shooting through winter in Scotland, which we always talk about the weather or whatever. But I guess also the COVID protocols, it just made everything, slower and more difficult. But I think, despite being a smaller season, I think it's one of the most interesting ones. It's compact, it's intense. So I actually really enjoyed it, but it was very, very difficult. I can't think of a funny thing that happened because not many laughs come when you're working with the Christies.
I think the first time I saw more than 2 people in several months was on an Outlander set. And one of the first days was that day that we had that big crowd scene. I think it was a huge extras day.
What scene was it?
Flora McDonald.
Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah, and that we went a bit crazy, a bit loopy that day, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, as you do on big crowd days. But that was the most people I'd ever seen too, so I was going extra loopy because I hadn't seen so many people in so long. We'd been in kind of isolation and lockdown, and you guys had opened up and filming. That was a trip.
I remember in the back of the scene there was a string quartet,
Oh, yeah.
So violin and a cello, and of course they didn't play all day. They're pretending to play all day, and I just kept looking over at them, and they were just doing this. I'm like, that's what they've got to do all day, and I was really impressed. I thought they were really good.
And the supporting artists who aren't having conversations but pretend to be having conversations all
Yes,
day.
yeah.
And
It's an art form, isn't it?
it is an art form. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my perspective is a little different because I do get to see all the filming because they send me the dailies, all the filming that they've shot every day. And that's absolutely fascinating. But sometimes it's like 47 takes of the same scene, so I will admit to skipping a little bit. But, I kind of judge how things are going by the number of times either Sam or Katrina says fuck. Had a few hard days lately.
Who says it more, myself or Katrina?
Her, yes.
Yeah, you're right. I would have said that, yeah.
Duncan, can take it over here to you. Your character has not been with the series in a little while here. Are you still captivated as the story is continuing? Crossing your fingers in some way, shape, or form, you can come back?
No.
I mean, we're time traveling here, so anything's possible.
I think I was very fortunate to linger around as long as I did. As you know, I should have took the bullet in Culloden, and it's good that the story continues. I think that's the effectiveness in dramas like this, as we say, it's about family, and family is about loss as well. So it's like. That's part of the magic of the storytelling that he's gone. I don't think Murder will be adding any more to the story at this stage.
We could write some murder fanfic.
Yeah.
Oh, some fan fiction? Yeah.
I don't know what he gets up to, but we could come up with something eventually. We could get done.
Murder going forward in time and becoming a biker, I think, is
I like it.
Sons of Anarchy with Murder in his leather jacket.
She's listening. She's listening down there.
I'd watch that.
Well, I
That's
promise.
a show about family as well.
Yeah, I promise nothing, but if we should get a season 8, I'll see what I can do about Murtaugh's ghost.
You heard it here.
On a motorbike.
Thank you.
On a motorbike.
Just touching on the whole theme of family, which I just love. Aren't you getting the sense just from them on stage here that you guys are a family yourselves making this series?
Apart from Graham McTavish.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, on set, it's just got to be great. You guys must be really tight and together, and that's so important in making a series like that, yeah?
Yeah, I think we were very fortunate. I think Sam touched on it earlier that we didn't really know what we were getting into when we cast into this huge beast of a thing, kind of until the first huge read-through we had, which was it was this ridiculous read-through. I think they rented out some Scottish castle in Glasgow. Yeah. All the brass from Starz and Sony turned up, and okay.
It's
the
real.
pressure's on, but
it's real.
Everyone got on immediately, and I think it was due to that pressure, due to we were all kind of new hands. There was no big kind of star involved in the show, and it was just such an amazing experience shooting season 1 that we all bonded. It was fantastic. Yeah.
And it's changed your lives. It really has. And we have Diana to thank for it all over here. Yes. We really do. Yeah. Can we have a huge round of applause for our Outlander team up here? Diana Gabaldon, Sam Heughan, David Barry, and Duncan Lacroix. Enjoy the rest of New York Comic Con. Bye-bye.